midlife crisis looks like. My midlife crisis, or yours. What I wanted to cover today is the frequency of midlife crisis. Like, how many men does it affect and how many women does it affect? Like, how many men have a midlife crisis and how many women have a midlife crisis? So this video is going to dispel the myth that men are far more likely to have a midlife crisis than women. Now, as a woman, I felt like women were far more likely to have a midlife crisis than men. The truth of the matter is, it's equal. Yes. Now, we're talking about a real midlife crisis. We're not just talking about those who hit midlife or those who have a crisis during midlife. We're talking about those who have a real midlife crisis. So I did some searching again, like I always do. And I found that studies show about 10% of the male population will be affected by or are affected by a midlife crisis. Likewise, 10% of women have a midlife crisis as well. Yes, the majority of people do not have a real midlife crisis. And this, I get a little bit frustrated with this because there's a lot of people. First of all, I have a lot of people in my life that tell me I'm not having a midlife crisis. Yes, I am having a midlife crisis. There wasn't anything that I can think of that really caused it. I didn't have a crisis within a short span or whatever, or even a year before I hit my midlife crisis. So, and then there's other people that talk about them having a midlife crisis, and that's not what it is that they're having. So with the studies that are looking at people who have a real midlife crisis, 10% of men and 10% of women will actually have a midlife crisis. So if you're married, that's good news. There's a good chance neither one of you are going to have a midlife crisis. So there it is. We just dispelled the myths that one gender is more likely to have a midlife crisis than the other. So that's it for this video. I just wanted to cover that. I thought that was an interesting piece of information. So if you know anybody who's yapping on about them having a midlife crisis simply because they're in midlife, share the video and let them know they're not having a midlife crisis. Not everybody has a midlife crisis. Anybody who thinks everybody has a midlife crisis, share the video with them. Jerks. Okay, so click like if you're surprised at this piece of information. Click subscribe, follow me along. I'm going to have more information coming at you because, you know, I keep looking things up and being a little surprised at what I find. Click subscribe, follow me along, and see if I survive my midlife crisis.